Welcome to RE Uncut. Our daily shows are powered by Core Logic and supported by Printforce, Rockend and Realty.com.au.
Well, as we know, Melbourne's in somewhat of a severe lockdown right now. Adam Flynn is my guest from Biggin & Scott in Melbourne, joining me this week, sharing some wisdom about how to prepare for that. And that's the topic I want to talk about today, because it could happen to any other state in Australia. So how do you prepare for it? Adam Flynn, back with me in just a moment.
With the evolution of social media, marketing of property is no longer linear. Consumers are influenced differently. The Property Show is unique in that it empowers agents to connect with buyers and sellers through personalised content, social media and artificial intelligence. The Property Show delivers personalised, laser-focused marketing by combining new media, social media and audience targeting, and gives the agent a digital voice. See how well the Property Show works, and then let's get started telling the world about your property. See it now exclusively at Realty.com.au.
Hello and welcome back to the show. Adam Flynn is my guest. We've got him mobile again. He's out on a shopping trip, I think, quite a legal one. Hey, Adam, if I could ask you this, turn back the clock. Help us, say, New South Wales as an example, where they can still operate quite well. How could they be preparing for something that might happen to them, like what's happening in Melbourne?
Yeah, okay. So firstly, there's probably a couple of different answers I'll give on that. The first one is in regards to the current stock they have on the market. So I would be suggesting that having some fairly honest and direct conversations when offers do come through, and possibly using Melbourne as the case study, whereby if they're getting a good, fair offer, given that circumstances can change very, very quickly, it might be worthwhile them looking at accepting the offer and moving on. But that's probably not exactly the question you're asking, but that's what I'd be doing for my team if I was in a different state. As far as preparation goes, I think it's really important that they are nurturing their existing database. And also, I think now it just goes to show the importance of having, good video exposure and good social media exposure, and having a profile out there in that space. So I'd suggest that now would be the time to, even if other states don't go into lockdown, this disaster, you could call it, like what's happened right now, has shown the importance for having video content out there and the ability to be able to communicate with the public without necessarily being eyeball to eyeball and belly to belly. So I'd suggest, one is keeping communications up in a really big way with their existing database. Two, if they don't have a social media or Facebook set up or whatever, LinkedIn, or get on top of that straight away. And that would probably be the two biggest. And also being open to, as I mentioned yesterday when we spoke about our strategies in regards to listening presentations, doing it via Zoom and via telephone calls and so forth, having all the documentation in place, if you don't already, to enable you to be able to do business remotely. So having the apps that you need for DocuSign and things of that nature, and having a structured strategic listing presentation, that if you do have to go down this path, you're in a position where you can hit the ground running, and you're not sitting there going, oh no, we're in lockdown now, what do we do? Because you can still sign up business. I mean, at the moment in Melbourne, we can't take buyers through a property. They cannot buy a property unless they want to buy it sight unseen. So we can do virtual tours. So having, those capabilities in place. And if you don't have those in place, starting to think about that. And whether you do go into lockdown or don't go into lockdown, that's just best practice at the moment. Just being mindful that, this has happened in Melbourne, and a lot of people are thinking it's going to go longer than the 6 weeks. Hopefully it doesn't, but that's the general thoughts around the Melbourne marketplace at the moment. So you need to have the ability to do business remotely, and have the the infrastructure in place to enable you to do that.
Yeah, it's a great time for us to learn a lot of lessons. I think I heard of an office in New Zealand, Remuera actually, where even in very severe lockdown situations like they had in New Zealand, where, you know, similar to what's happening in Melbourne now, one office in particular during the absolute lockdown still sold 58 properties. So it is possible if you can use this opportunity as a learning experience and make sure that your business is ready for it in case it happens. Because if it doesn't happen now, it may happen in the next, 5-6 years. Who knows?
Absolutely. Look, we just coincidentally, we launched a platform called Train by Miyagi about 4 months ago, and it's now called Miyagi Live, but that's primarily, it's now got a real estate section on it whereby, and it's just been coincidental that it's all happened at the same time, but it's going to be geared around that, around agents having the ability to have their own TV, essentially their own TV station. So testimonials, videos, recent listings, sold properties, etc. Because it really is heading to a point where, firstly, people are time poor. They don't necessarily want to have to interview 4 or 5 agents. And as people are becoming more and more reliant on technology and would prefer to investigate agents in that space, there is a real need for agents to be seen online. So yeah, absolutely, thinking about initiatives in preparation for something like this, whether it happens or not, is certainly an intelligent idea.
Indeed. Okay, Adam Flynn back again tomorrow, and we'll dig a little bit more about operating in an absolute lockdown, which is what's happening in Melbourne. Adam, thanks for your time. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow, mate.
Thanks, Kevin. Cheers, mate.
The Daily RE Uncut Show is powered by CoreLogic and supported by Printforce, Rockend and Realty.com.au. Realty.com.au is where you will see all our shows: Real Estate Talk, The Property Show, Auction Update, and of course RE Uncut. We are the home of property.